This afternoon, we are not just looking back. We are reopening the files of the year that gripped South Africa by the throat, a year when political power cracked, the truth erupted, and shock after shock rolled through the nation. This is 2025, the year that refused to stay quiet. It began in April with the country bracing for a VAT increase that many feared would squeeze households already stretched to breaking point. But in a dramatic twist, the government made a U-turn.
You will recall that Parliament, in accepting the fiscal framework, made a condition that during the next 30 days, I must focus on the proposals that are going to be submitted by a number of political parties. And I did exactly that and looked at those proposals of the different political parties in order to find revenue sources to replace the VAT. That was the broadly proposition that emerged from Parliament. I have then, subsequent to that, in consultation with this and looking at this proposal from these political parties, came to the conclusion that we might well find some resources with additional revenue from SARS, which at the time of presenting the budget, those resources were not necessarily available. Now, what that means, if that happens, we will reduce the current expenditure in line with the amount of reduction in VAT. Having done so, after the new budget with those reduced expenditure, we may then introduce a special appropriation to close the gap, if I may say.
The reversal exposed deep fractures in the government of national unity and signaled that storm clouds were gathering. By July, those clouds split open. KwaZulu-Natal's Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, stepped forward with allegations that shook the nation's confidence in law enforcement.
The Minister of Police, through the communication that we received, first, he writes a letter, he disbands the team. In the same letter, he stops the filling of vacancies. We are 7 months down the line without a command of crime intelligence. We don't know the reason. We've asked the National Commission to explain to us why is this. He says the minister gave the instruction. So we don't know what is the intention. And we, in Parliament, even say that we don't know what informs the minister to say disband the team, because the team's work speaks for itself. Is there? I mean, on frequent basis, the previous ministers were briefing the nation about what the team is doing. This new current administration has not done that. Now, suddenly we see the letter that says the team is disbanded. We don't know the reason. Fortunately for the investigation happening in Gauteng under the leadership of the project manager, which is Jaro Kumalo, an evidence is retrieved from one of the criminal syndicates, which makes it clear that there's a communication between the minister and these people.
It was a revelation that lit the fuse of political explosion. Just 1 week later, the explosion came. The union buildings delivered a political thunderclap.
I have decided to put the Minister of Police, Mr. Senzo Mkhunu, on leave of absence with immediate effect. The Minister has undertaken to give his full cooperation to the Commission to enable it to work properly. I have decided to appoint Professor Firoz Kachalia as Acting Minister of Police. Professor Kachalia is currently a Professor of Law at the University of the Witwatersrand and is the Chairperson of the National Anti-Corruption Advisory Council.
A sitting police minister sidelined, the nation stunned. By September, the country gathered around its screens as the Madlanga Commission began peeling back the layers.
Ours from today onwards is to investigate whether our criminal justice system is what it should be or whether it has been infiltrated by criminal syndicates. Words from us must end here, and we must start with the investigative process.
It is my view that the attempt to disband the political killings task team was due to the influence of a particular organized crime cartel over the Ministry of Police as well as the South African Police Service, who mistakenly thought that the political killings task team was investigating the same cartel.
You can clearly see that the section that deals with the particulars of the seller, Mr. Madlanga has completed that section.
Yes, I've said this. I agree. These are the documents. Yes.
So you would have obtained this from him?
Yes, I've said so.
And taken them to Christine?
Yes, yes. No. When we were there, oh, he said I've obtained from him. Yes. So that the Christian can start registration plates. And I agree on that.
Commissioner Mkhwanazi,
I agree on that.
I've owned a vehicle before and I've transferred a vehicle to somebody else before.
No, I'm saying on these papers, I agree on that.
You need these documents to facilitate that
transfer.
Yes. And these documents you would have obtained from Mr. Ket Madlanga.
Oh, yes, this
And
is so.
you would have then given them to Christine as part of the bundle that he needed.
3 voices, 1 story, a justice system under siege, and a painful truth emerging in real time. Then came the revelation that struck the public at its core, not in parliament, not in policing, but in a place meant to heal.
Currently, the SIU is probing allegations relating to the Tembisa Hospital and has to date identified, as I indicated, 3 major syndicates that have appropriated about 2 billion meant for the healthcare at the Tembisa Hospital. An analysis of about 2,207 procurement bundles have revealed serious maladministration and procurement fraud. Key officials from the Department of Health in Gauteng and the Tembisa Hospital are accused of benefiting from corrupt payments that facilitated the irregular payments.
Medicine, equipment, care looted. The final shock of the year and the one that hurt the most. 5 stories, 5 turning points.
And what
2025 didn't simply test South Africa, it challenged it to rise, to confront wrongdoing, and to demand better. And as the year ends, one truth stands tall: accountability is loud, and it will always be louder than silence. For Week in Review, I'm Sandile Hlangani.